Hello, my name is John Egan. Today we'll be talking about integrative therapies and anxiety treatment with a special emphasis on the gut microbiome. So, what is the gut microbiome? The gut microbiome, or gut flora, is defined as the totality of all the microorganisms, including bacteria, archaea, fungi, protozoans, and non living viruses that live in the digestive tract of all humans. The bacterial population in our microbiome is alone estimated at between 75 and 200 trillion individual organisms, according to Luke K. Ursel, Department of Biochemistry and Chemistry from the University of Colorado at Boulder. Cara Rogers, the senior editor of biomedical sciences at Encyclopedia Britannica, cites that the gut microbiome was first discovered in the mid 1880s by Austrian pediatrician Theodor Estrich. He found bacterium later named Escherichia coli in the intestinal flora of children with diarrheal diseases. However, it wouldn't be until the 21st century when the Human Microbiome Project, shortened as HMP, began a 5-year, 2008 to 2013, research initiative particularly focused on identifying and characterizing human microbial flora. This research was conducted in hopes of answering how and why the gut microbiome functions. We too will be exploring these burning questions with an emphasis on potential treatment for anxiety. Moving along. So, how does the gut microbiome particularly affect anxiety? The answer, according to researchers at Beihang University in Beijing, China, is an intricate chain that starts in the gut microbiome and ends in the vast central autonomic network. The microbiota, all microscopic living organisms, and metabolites located in the gut microbiome are sensed by afferents of the vagus nerve. This information is then transferred by the efferent fibers in the central nervous system, CNS, and then integrated with the central autonomic network, CAN, which regulates functions of the body, including pain, motor skills, neuroendocrine processes, and behavioral responses essential for homeostasis. This case study's participant, Kevin, not Kevin Costner, is a young man in his early 30s, described as athletic and outgoing with only a touch of cynicism. His usual disposition meanders from curiosity to genuine satisfaction and enjoyment in life. His professional life in the art sector has led to an increased anxiety. Kevin's mental health treatment started with psychotherapy, and he was having great success, and was interested in ways he could continue upon his treatment. Kevin was then recruited to participate in a case study demonstrating how one proposed model of treatment that integrated dietary and lifestyle changes could be incorporated with minimal interference and invasiveness alongside with mental health counseling for anxiety. The proposed treatment lasts 3 weeks and consists of 3 stages. Week 1 is a baseline. Week 2 implements dietary changes, and week 3 incorporates both dietary changes and mindfulness meditation. Specific changes will be described in the next 2 slides. Kevin is also asked to record his diet, blood glucose response, sleep, physical activity, and stress or anxiety symptom occurrences and record this information in provided log sheets. Kevin was also asked to complete the Beck Anxiety Inventory, BAI, a self-report inventory that assesses both physiological and cognitive symptoms of anxiety, with the guidance of his mental health counselor. Lastly, in order to evaluate changes to the gut microbiome, Kevin was also asked to collect 1 stool sample per week for the 3-week duration, 1 baseline and 2 from the test trial weeks. After the baseline week ends, Kevin begins week 2 of treatment. He incorporates pre and probiotic foods into his daily diet, including sauerkraut, kombucha, kefir, kimchi, as well as garlic, onion, bananas, and apples, respectively. Stool samples were taken at the end of the week. Week 3 Kevin continues his dietary changes, more pre and probiotic foods, while also adding 5 minutes of mindfulness meditation after every meal. Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction treatment, MBSR, defines mindfulness as the awareness that arises from paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. Kevin was instructed to take long diaphragmatic, also known as belly breaths, and to continue and to explore what emotions his thoughts conveyed. Finally, at the end of his meditation, he was to write down an assessment of how he feels physically. Stool samples were also taken at the end of the week. This case study's results suggest that the taxonomic arrangement of gut microbiota is reflective of probiotic supplementation, demonstrating a rearrangement and increase in taxia associated with beneficial effects in mitigating anxiety behaviors, as well as an overall improvement in mood and a positive outlook on life in the future. And as we can see, Kevin's Beck anxiety inventory score dropped from a 21 all the way down to a 5. Kevin's case study shows great promise in adjunctive treatment for anxiety. This case study demonstrates how dietary changes and the addition of mindfulness can be seen as a worthwhile addition to treatment for anxiety. These lifestyle changes should be seen as adjunctive or in addition to traditional mental health treatment with a professional. More studies ought to be conducted to help eliminate external factors potentially interfering with the collected data. Future studies should also explore if these lifestyle changes alleviate common side effects of traditional anxiety medication. For example, sertraline, the generic name of Zoloft, a popular SSRI, often prescribed to reduce clinical anxiety disorders, can cause nausea, diarrhea, constipation, and vomiting. Could these lifestyle changes discussed in the presentation help reduce said side effects? And that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. This was Integrative Therapies and Anxiety Treatment with a special emphasis on the gut microbiome. Thank you so much for listening.